Good morning and welcome to another episode of Lovin Daily. I'm Christian Perugin and today I'm joined by Tim Diacono, the editor of lovinmalta.com. I'll just start with a quick roundup of the stories that we're going to be discussing today in these dark times. First of all, an update on the coronavirus health perspective, what has been done in the number of cases and new restrictions that are being applied. We'll also talk about some amazing initiatives by Maltese landlords to help reduce the burden on their tenants. We'll talk also about the fears that people have of mass unemployment and some of the economic measures that are being discussed. We'll also discuss the case of Miriam Patch, again, the woman who was killed 2 weeks ago in a building collapse, which has now been overshadowed in a big way by the coronavirus, but it's important to keep our attention over there as well. And resurfacing of an old story, the Pilatus Bank chairman Ali Sader has been found guilty in a US court. So I'll just start off the show with a few updates on the coronavirus. So yesterday was quite an important milestone. We had the first local transmissions of the virus. We had the cases in Malta have gone up to 30. There's also been a number of new restrictions laid out, including that bars and restaurants and gyms are going to be shut from tomorrow. There was some confusion over here about whether midnight was this morning or tonight in terms of when things are going to be closed. We've verified that gyms and bars and restaurants have to close from tomorrow. So today you might want to hit the gym for a last session before things get a bit tighter, and you know, it looks very much like we're heading to a lockdown. We're already on some sort of lockdown, but you know, it looks like it's inevitable. What do you think, Tim?
I was expecting it last night, to be honest. Look, everyone, what's very important to note is the government strategy as advised by the health authority. So obviously, whenever you see a news update saying that, you know, showing that more people have been infected with the coronavirus, it's scary, it's worrying. What's important to note that the health authorities are expecting the number to keep on rising. In fact, the strategy is not to stop the virus immediately, but to slow down the spread of the virus to ensure that there isn't a sudden spike to the extent that our healthcare systems cannot cope with it. And up until now, all 30 cases, all 28 current active cases, and the 2 have recovered from it, they're all in good health. And in fact, Shami Gauchi, Superintendent of Public Health, said yesterday that the only reason they're being kept in hospital is to ensure that they're kept isolated. But they can technically be kept at home in quarantine. So
it's interesting that the 3 local transmissions that there were all healthcare workers, right, doctors, which in a way is expected because they're on the front line of this, and you could also argue that it might be better for these people to get it now than when the health sector is even more under pressure later. I just want to make a quick appeal to anyone who is being tested or going to hospital with symptoms, etc., to be honest and upfront about your history in terms of people you've met and places you've visited. We're hearing that there's a lot of lying going on and being dishonest, and that really puts lives in danger, because you know they need to know how to process you. So that's really important.
And if you're meant to be in quarantine, stay in quarantine.
Yeah. We still have, even though the fines have now increased, right, from 1,000 to 3,000 a day. So really, guys, there's no reason for you to be breaching quarantine. Quick shout out to Shami Gauchi. She got a lot of love on our site yesterday. We posted a tribute video to the woman who's essentially become the face of the fight against coronavirus in Malta. Very calm, collected, and it's really nice as well to see great, you know, female leadership, you know, in a country where we, you know, often only see men at the top, you know. So it's quite.
What's important over here is that we maintain our trust in the health authority. So seeing the Maltese public, you know, responding so positively towards Shami Gauchi is definitely encouraging, because, you know, she is an expert in the field. She's really, really working hard, and not only her. I mean, she's the face of it, but there is a whole team behind her as well, and hopefully when the time comes, all these people will be named and honoured as they should be.
In fact, something's happening tonight, right? At 9 p.m.
Yes, tonight there are plans for a mass celebration of our healthcare workers. Obviously, everybody has to stay at home. We're not supposed to go out, but we're going to do what cities like Madrid did, like Barcelona did, some places in Italy as well. And at 9 p.m., everyone is meant to stand by the windows and cheer for our healthcare workers in these very troubling times.
So we'll see what that looks like tonight. Our next story is about Maltese landlords. Tell us a bit about what's happening there, Tim.
So they say every cloud has a silver lining, right?
Yeah.
And some landlords are actually taking it upon themselves to make life easier for their tenants in these troubling times by either reducing the rent by a staggering amount or even by foregoing it entirely for a while.
And there was also, I think, a hotel owner who was offering his accommodation to healthcare workers who don't want to sort of expose their families when they go back home, right?
Yeah,
so all of these stories you can find on lovinmalta.com, and I think it's really nice to share these sort of stories because it could inspire other landlords to do the same. Keep in mind that some landlords can afford to have a few months of less rent, and some tenants actually can't afford to spend a month without being paid.
I think the important message over here is that these are very troubling times for everyone, but we're all in this together. And the more we just completely fight each other and try to knock each other down, the worse it's going to be for everyone at the end of the day. So this cloud will pass, and we must make sure we are stronger at the end of it.
On that note as well, we'll move on to the next story, which is these fears that people have about unemployment. We had a Facebook poll, right, Tim, yesterday. What did we ask?
So we asked people whether they're more concerned about the coronavirus itself or about mass unemployment, which is a fear that has been voiced by many people as a potential side effect of the virus. 55%, which is quite a strong majority, said that they're more concerned about mass unemployment rather than the virus itself, which is a message that the government really needs to take seriously, because obviously public health should be a priority, but it must also make sure that the medicine isn't deadlier than the disease itself. Yeah,
the measures that we're taking or taking to contain the virus might lead to a worse situation
I don't think
in terms
people
of
really
the economy, right?
I think people need to understand as well, and they're starting to understand that it's not so simple to say, okay, we're going to have just some period of unemployment, right? Unemployment leads to its own problems. It leads to a rise in crime, a rise in suicides. So that's more debt. The government has to pay more on social benefits as well. And Malta, thankfully, has a very low unemployment rate, one of the lowest in the world. I mean, it's something
I think the unique Maltese reality is that we have just come out of an amazing time economically, right? So a lot of businesses were probably investing a huge amount of money, taking every opportunity they can in terms of building for the future, and that means that they were probably heavily exposed to a totally unprecedented situation where suddenly everything stops. For most businesses, they can't even operate. So we'll just cut to a video clip that our economy minister Silvio Schembri uploaded yesterday, where he talks about the measures being taken and specifically why he doesn't feel the passport scheme fund should be completely used to support businesses at this time. A bit of a controversial statement over there, but let's hear him out and discuss it afterwards.
Sal-aħħar ta' dil-ġimgħa se nniedu miżuri oħrajn indirizzati sabiex ma jintilfux l-impjiegi. Nafu x'qed nagħmlu. Però ma naqbilx ma' min qiegħed jargumenta li għax il-gvern faddal 600 miljun euro mill-iskema tal-passaporti, allura għandna nużaw dawn biex jagħmlu tajjeb kollha għat-telf tan-negozji tagħna. Ikun immatur ħafna li għax ikollok il-flus imġemmajn taqbad tonfqhom bla doċċ mal-ewwel awġ li jiġi għal wiċċek. Irridu naraw li kulħadd jerfa' parti minn din l-isfida. Ma nistgħux nippretendu li n-negozju meta kien sejjer tajjeb iżommu l-profitti kollha u issa għax ġej Maltemp jaqlaħ għal-ħaddiem. Jew li jrid jagħmel tajjeb għalih kollu l-poplu mit-taxxi tiegħu. Qed ngħid li ma jfissirx li għax il-gvern għandu surplus, allura naqbdu nqasmu l-flus bla doġġ. Ma nistgħux inkunu galantom b'flus ħaddieħor. Il-gvern iva se jgħin il-negozji biex dawn jelbu dis-sitwazzjoni. Bħal meta konna hemm biex qajjimna l-ekonomija ta' dan il-pajjiż. Aħna se nkunu qegħdin hemm biex l-ewwel ħaġa nissalvagwardjaw l-impjiegi tal-ħaddiema.
Yeah, so that was the economy minister. He's, sending, I think, a message that's neither here nor there at the moment, which is kind of, on the one hand, businesses, the government can't possibly take on all the burden. On the other hand, he's recognizing that there is a big fear of unemployment. I think yesterday the Danish government proposed to pay some 75% of salaries of people who are not able to work. So I think now...
In Ireland as well.
And what's interesting, I think, about a situation like this is that it's so global and it's so, everyone's experiencing it at the same time. So it's going to be quite easy for us to compare the different measures taken by different countries at this point in time.
Yes. But obviously, while public health should remain the utmost priority, this should be a very close second. I want to be very honest. We don't want to emerge from the situation with people, begging on the streets, crime through the roof. So it's no joke. It's not just a simple matter of businesses scared that they're going to lose all the money they've been holding up for themselves over the years. Some of them might, in which case obviously they should use that money to help their staff, but there is a reality which is that many businesses will have no option but to fire their staff or to close down their businesses with all the social problems that will cause.
So, move on to the next story, Miriam Patch.
Yes, so Miriam Patch is the woman whose house, who was killed when her house collapsed in Hamrun a few weeks ago. Again, I mean, there was a massive outcry about that story, and rightfully so. Let's put this into some context. The coronavirus hasn't yet killed anyone in Malta. The construction industry has claimed its first life in Miriam Patch. So yesterday her daughter, uploaded this emotional status where she basically thanked everyone for the support, both psychologically and financially for over the past few weeks. I think it's very important, especially in these times, right? About how important just a few words can make. Instead of just lashing out at somebody, just offer your support. It doesn't take much.
It's also quite amazing to see the daughter Ivana of Miriam Patch taking to Facebook at these times, not to kind of say her mom's case has been forgotten, or to say no action has taken place. Has been charged, and all of these points that are totally valid. She went on Facebook to say thank you to everyone who supported them. So so I think that was a really nice sentiment from her perspective. But also we really need to make sure that anything that needs to be changed about the construction industry is changed before it results in more lives lost. I think one thing to keep in mind, sorry Tim, one thing to keep in mind is that at the moment, with so many people under quarantine, so many people not showing up for work, etc., you probably have the most responsible people, not showing up for work, and the least responsible people probably, still digging construction sites. So let's make sure that we're vigilant over there as well, not just in terms of
We also
health.
cannot grind the economy to a complete halt, though. But in this case, we also do need to see actual justice done. Nobody has been charged, and we need justice done for someone who was literally killed over here.
We'll move on to the last story, a bit of a throwback in a sense. The Pilatus Bank chairman Ali Sader was, that massive scandal in Malta a couple of years ago. He's now been found guilty in a US court of 5 of 6 counts interestingly not found guilty of money laundering, which was the big accusation of the Pilatus Bank in Malta. But he was found guilty of trying to defraud the United States and sanctions against Iran by funneling in about 115 million US dollars. Also, interestingly, bit of a corona aspect to this case. One of the jurors was feeling sick and wanted to deliberate via Skype, you know. So it seems that this big story that's affecting the whole world has found its way into every little story as well. What are the Maltese implications, Tim, in terms of this court case of Ali Sadr?
I mean, obviously the bank has already closed. Now we know that he's likely going to be sentenced to jail. It's basically a clear message that if you meddle with international crime, there's a high chance you can get caught out. And also, I mean, a bit of a side note, but it's interesting that you mentioned the fact that the juror, called in on Skype. I think what this coronavirus has also shown is that a lot of work can actually be done remotely. And I really wonder whether it's a trend that will continue once this dies down.
Yeah, we're doing that ourselves as well, except for Lovin Daily, and we should probably keep like a meter distance from each other as well. So that's all we have for today. Just a quick note that the regular press briefing, and by the way, well done to the health authorities for giving regular press briefings, will take place today at noon by Charmaine Gauci. And also thank you to all the viewers who are watching Lovin Daily from around the world. I know we've got people from Australia, from the Netherlands, from London, from Bulgaria. So it's really nice to have you watching this and to be keeping you updated. We'll be back again tomorrow, right?
Yeah, and 9 p.m. tonight, be at your windows to cheer for our healthcare workers.
Yeah, thank you very much in these very uncertain times. Have a day full of loving.